Welcome to the Chicago Scholars Virtual College Fair. Thank you all for joining us. My name is Kelsey and I will be facilitating tonight. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time during the presentations tonight. Your camera and microphone are off so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of the many different sessions happening, so be sure to sign up for more. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at strivescan.com/Chicago Scholars. Thank you all for joining us, but now I would like to turn it over to our presenters. And first up, we have Bryn Mawr from Pennsylvania.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Welcome. My name is Jennifer Keegan. I'm an Associate Director of Admissions at Bryn Mawr College. I'm so excited to welcome you this evening. Bryn Mawr is a women's college. We are located in suburban Philadelphia. We have about 1,300 students, and our students come from all over the country and all over the world, but they come to Bryn Mawr with a real shared set of living and learning values. So I want to start this evening or late afternoon talking a little bit about our academic program. So we don't have at Bryn Mawr like an English 101 or a Math 102. Instead, what we have, as you can see here, are called our approaches to inquiry. And what these allow students to do is really take a breadth of classes in those first 2 years. So as you can see, students take classes in critical interpretation, cross-cultural analysis, inquiry into the past, and scientific investigations. So as you can see, very much a liberal arts focus. And then in that junior and in that senior year, you'll really narrow in on a potential major or a minor. But I think a lot of times with that flexibility, things can seem a little bit daunting. And so you're going to be working very closely with an academic dean who's going to help you in planning out the courses so that you will be able to explore lots of things, but then also be able to graduate within 4 years as well. So I do want to talk a little bit about Bryn Mawr as a women's college. And I know some students are really excited by that. Some students are a little bit nervous by that. But there really are some wonderful benefits to the all women's environment. One of those, I think, real benefits is the success of our students in traditionally male dominated fields. So we're graduating 2.6 times the national average of degrees awarded to women in STEM. But you might be sitting here going, but Jennifer, my passions are in the fine arts or in music. And we are very much, as I said, a liberal arts college, but they're like business and politics that young women haven't always been encouraged to pursue in the same way that young men have. We're changing that. So no matter what you're excited about, and no matter what you're passionate about, you'll have the support of faculty and your staff and your peers who are going to really be your cheerleaders along the way as well. One of the other wonderful benefits is that you're going to be joining some of the most powerful professional networks of women, not only in the United States, but around the world. The other thing I also like to mention about Bryn Mawr, and as you can see the statistic of STEM here, but also I'm sure research is on a lot of your wish lists of college. So 100% of our students will complete a research or senior capstone project. So that's important to the education you'll receive at Bryn Mawr. And 97% of our students have a positive career outcome once they leave the college. And so you don't need to know what you want to do at Bryn Mawr before you come. You may know what you want to do before you come to the college, but we will help you really kind of highlight your interests and highlight your passions, and then turn those into careers once you leave Bryn Mawr. So we are, as I'd mentioned at the beginning, about 11 miles west of Philadelphia. So we very much utilize the city. I think for internships, about 77% of our students will complete at least one internship, and we have over $750,000 available for students to take advantage of that. We also have 20 combined degree programs that allow students to earn both their bachelor's and master's degree in that shorter amount of time. And outside COVID-19, we had 90 study abroad programs. I think we're hoping to return to being able to send our students abroad. But if you go on a Bryn Mawr approved program, all your financial aid will travel with you and your credits transfer back. So we do try to make that as seamless as possible for students to take advantage of. We're also in an academic and social consortium with Haverford College, Swarthmore College, and the University of Pennsylvania, which do allow students to take academic courses, but also extracurricular options at these local colleges as well. So one of the programs that I do want to highlight is our 360 course cluster program, because I think a lot of the times when you're looking at liberal arts colleges, it can be hard to differentiate between them. You're hearing very small average class size, student to faculty ratio, ours 9:1, our student to faculty ratio, and our average class size is about 15. But I think curricularly, one of the programs that I like to highlight is our 360 course cluster program. And it is a way of looking at how we make connections across the liberal arts. So this 360 actually went to the US-Mexican border and engaged with artists and activists there. We had one 360 that was called Contemplative Traditions, where students looked at meditation, they looked at mindfulness from an East Asian Studies class lens, a psychology class lens, and a chemistry class lens. So students were taking those 3 courses concurrently in a semester. And then all of these off-campus 360 programs have a fully funded off-campus experience. The 360 on Contemplative Traditions actually went to Japan, and they were blogging while they were there, making those of us at Bryn Mawr very, very jealous. And so, so I will encourage you, I hate to give homework too much in information sessions, but I will encourage you, if you do get a chance, to explore our 360 program, because I do think it is a unique opportunity at the college as well. So I do also want to talk about what life looks like outside of the classroom at Bryn Mawr. So we have over 100 different clubs and organizations for students to join. We are NCAA Division III for our athletic programs. And I always like to have a slide when I tell you all this fact, but we're also rated very highly for residence halls that look like castles. So, so you don't have to just take my word for it. You can see, and hopefully you'll get to come visit campus as we begin to open up, but we do have a very palace-like campus. So, so with that, I will stop sharing my screen. I know it's a challenging time to be looking at colleges, but please feel free to reach out. We're happy to help in any way.
Awesome. Thank you, Jennifer. Next up, we have Butler University. So whenever you are ready, take it away.
There we go. Forgot to unmute myself. Well, hi, everyone. My name is Laura Shutt, and I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions, Chicago-based regional representative for Butler University. I live here in the Chicago area and will be your admissions counselor should you choose to apply. Butler is a private, non-religiously affiliated, mid-sized university located in the city of Indianapolis in Indiana, which is just about a 3-hour drive from Chicago. Our campus is just 5 miles north of the downtown area, which you're kind of seeing pictured here in the skyline. And we're tucked away in a very residential neighborhood that really gives you that true campus feel. We have just under 4,500 undergraduate students on campus, and additionally around 500 or so grad students. However, our focus is truly on that undergraduate student experience. You'll find that our size in many ways gives you that small school feel with a lot of big school opportunities. With that average class size right at 22 and that student to faculty ratio of 12:1, you'll find that your classroom experience is going to be very student focused, very engaging. Your professors will get to know you, and you'll get to know your classmates as well through lots of discussions and group projects. Here you'll see that we have 6 different academic colleges that focus on communication, education, liberal arts and sciences, pharmacy and the health sciences, visual and performing arts, and business. For any students that are unsure what they want to study, I always encourage you to look into our exploratory studies program. That's a great way to start at Butler. Our students will start taking courses in their major during the first year, but we'll also be taking courses in what's called our core curriculum. One unique feature of our core curriculum, though, is our Indianapolis community requirement, where students are actually going to participate in a course where service in the community is really integrated into the curriculum. While it's not a requirement for all of our majors, 75% of our students do complete at least one internship before they graduate. And then many of our students take advantage of our location right in the city for those internship experiences, but then also many will do internships in our semester programs in Washington, D.C. or New York City. And then, of course, we do have wonderful study abroad programs for our students. We have about 40% of Butler students that'll spend at least one semester studying abroad, and we have 200 plus programs in 60 different countries. So many places to explore, and we really are hoping to get those back up and running as well. Here, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that student experience. And we have this new program called Butler's BU Be Well framework, which really just serves as kind of that foundation for that holistic experience. And so really kind of fostering that positive environment that's going to help you grow in and out of the classroom through each of those 8 dimensions listed there in that logo. Butler is a residential campus. We do have a 3-year housing requirement. We recently built 2 residence halls, one for first years and one for sophomores, that really have that focus on suite style living. We have 130 clubs and student organizations, a really active Greek life with about 35% of students participating. We have 20 NCAA Division I athletic teams. We are in the Big East Conference. One fun little fact is that our students do have access to free tickets to all the sporting events, and that includes men's basketball, which is a pretty big deal on campus. And then there are several club sports and intramural sports as well. We have a very active diversity center, which is the home to all of our student affinity groups. And so that'll include our Black Student Union, Latinx Student Union, Gender Equity Movement, to name a few. It's also the home of our Multicultural Mentors program. I'm going to shift gears real quickly and talk quickly about our admissions process here at Butler. And here I just want to give you kind of that general overview of what our academic profile looks like, to give you an idea of what a typical incoming student looks like. These are our middle 50% ranges, so keep that in mind that some students will be a little lower, some will be a little bit higher. And then please note that the GPA is the weighted GPA. So we will take that highest GPA listed on your transcript. And it's really tiny in that tiny print there. We are test optional. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit in the next slide. These are all the items that you need to submit for your application to be complete. Butler app, Common App, no preference. Most of my students from the Chicago area will use the Common App, so that is perfectly fine. We do then also need that essay that comes with the Common App, no additional essays there. It is free to apply as well, so we do not have any application fees with that. And then I did mention that we are test optional. We became test optional last year and are remaining that every year moving forward. So really exciting on that front. So you can choose to apply with or without your test scores. We found that last year it was about an even split, about 50% applied with test scores and 50% applied without. Happy to talk that over with you if you would have some additional questions on that front. And then here are just some important dates to keep in mind for Butler's application process. The application will open up August 1st as you head into your senior year, so right around the corner. And then there are 2 different timelines that you can follow, with our early action timeline of November 1 and regular decision is our February 1st date. Early action is non-binding, so you're not making that commitment to come to Butler, and you do get that best scholarship consideration on that front. And then we do encourage all families to file the FAFSA for any additional assistance. And then I am going to actually wrap up, and that kind of concluded everything that I had. I do encourage you to visit campus if you have a chance. You can visit butler.edu/visit for more information. Thanks so much. Good luck with your college search, and go Dogs. And I'm going to end my screen share.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Moving right along, next up, we have University of Pittsburgh. So whenever you're ready.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us this evening. My name is Betsy Stevens, and I'm an admission counselor at the University of Pittsburgh. Like Laura, I'm also based in the Chicagoland area. So I live and work with Chicagoland students. So tonight I want to give you a little overview about Pitt, our campus, location, academics, student life, and then a little bit about the application process and next steps. So on the screen here, you'll see a picture of our campus. So we are a mid to large size state-related school. We have about 19,000 students. And as you can see, we're located in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We're about 3 miles outside of the heart of the city. So I always say we're an urban-ish campus. Again, being 3 miles outside of the city is about a 10 to 15 minute bus ride. But on the other side of our campus, there's a lot of green space. So if you're looking for that little retreat, we have that. So I feel like our campus is kind of the best of both worlds. We're about an 8 to 9 hour drive from most of the Chicagoland area, or a quick hour flight from either airport in the Chicagoland area as well. When you step foot on campus, you really will get that big school spirit feel. Academics are really important at Pitt. If you look at our profile, you'll see that we have a strong student body, but our students are also really involved outside of the classroom as well, whether that be in student life or giving back to the Pittsburgh community in general. Our campus is 100% walkable, so you'll see we do have green space, not a lot, so that's why I always say that urban-ish kind of campus feel. Moving on, the proximity to the city is definitely one of the highlights for our students. While we want you to engage on campus, we know that there is so much that the city of Pittsburgh has to offer, and it's definitely a big selling point for students on our campus. We're home to many Fortune 500 companies, so if you're looking for an internship, you have a lot of those at your disposal. If you're interested in the fine arts, we do have the cultural district where students will have the ability to attend cultural or other fine arts, usually for free or at a reduced rate. We're home to 4 professional sports teams. So aside from the Pittsburgh Steelers, our students can usually go to those events for free or at a discounted rate. Lastly, my favorite part about the city, we're a huge foodie city. We've been ranked one of the best places to eat in America. So if you're interested in trying diverse cuisine, we're definitely a great place to do that. Lastly, you can access all of these things and more for free using your student ID. So while our campus is 100% walkable, to get downtown, any of the other 89 neighborhoods in Pittsburgh or to the Pittsburgh airport, you could simply hop on one of our city buses and just swipe your student ID. Moving on, when our freshmen apply to Pitt, they apply to one of our first-year entry-level schools. So all of these programs, except our Dietrich School of Arts and Sciences, are direct admit. So we have our Arts and Sciences program, which is our largest program on campus, our direct entry School of Engineering, Business, the School of Computing and Information, which is one of our newer programs, our School of Nursing, which would be one of our more competitive programs, and then lastly, we recently just announced that we will be starting a School of Public Health with the Public Health major, which is really exciting. We just have some great things going on in the health-related field for our students. Over 100 majors, minors, and certificate programs for you to choose from, and most of our students do pursue more than one passion, so we would definitely encourage you to do that. Now, there's several opportunities within academics that can really elevate your experience on campus. First, we have our honors program, which does not require a separate application, just an additional essay. So you can apply to that program. With that program, you'll have the opportunity to take honors courses, live in honors housing, and have access to special internships, research projects, and scholarships as well. We do have an internship guarantee program, and several of our students do participate in the co-op. We are a Research One institution, so it's definitely a highlight for our students. And as a first-year student, you can begin research as early as your second semester on campus. We are home to 6 hospitals on our campus, 5 of which are part of the UPMC system. And so the access for students that are interested in the health sciences is really incredible. Lastly, we have over 350 study abroad programs for you to choose from. And as someone who did not study abroad and has never left this country, I would really encourage you to take advantage of one of those opportunities and gain that global perspective. Research has shown about 80% of your college experience is spent outside of the classroom. So it's up to you how you want to spend your quote unquote free time. Like I said, we have the Pitt Arts. Our students are guaranteed 3 years of on-campus housing as well, but you are never required to live on campus. We have over 400 student organizations, and about 10% of our students participate in Greek life. Lastly, we are a Division I school in the ACC, or Atlantic Coast Conference. Our students can go to football games for $25 for the entire season, and our men's basketball is really well attended as well. Lastly, I will touch on the application process since that's right around the corner. You can apply on the Common App, the Coalition app, or we do have our own application. We'll ask for a self-reported transcript or an official transcript from your high school. We will be test optional for the next couple of years. And new this year, we would ask that you submit a personal statement or one of the Common App essays as well. We do practice rolling admission, and if you're interested in a scholarship or our honors program, we would ask that you apply by December 1st. And if you need anything else, feel free to reach out.
Awesome. Thank you, Betsy. Next up, we have Vassar College in New York. So whenever you're ready, Michael, go for it.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Michael Garcia. I'm currently an admissions counselor here at Vassar College. At the same time, actually, I'm a fairly recent alum of the college myself, where I graduated in the class of 2018. And when I was here as a student, I actually was able to study two completely different things. I was able to study both physics and Latin American studies. While none of my classes are very much intersect with one another, I think this is a pretty good example of a typical Vassar student, where a lot of students really come in with a lot of intellectual curiosity, and they're really just curious about studying a lot of different things. And one of the things I've definitely been able to see is that if you're a student who really is driven by that intellectual curiosity, I think this might be the right institution for you. And for those of you who have not visited our campus before, a little bit of background information about where we're at. So we are located about 2 hours north of New York City in Poughkeepsie, New York. One of the really cool things about us, particularly as Mawr College, is while we may not be in a large city such as New York City, Poughkeepsie in of itself is a pretty sizable city that it does offer a lot of different offerings. A lot of the same stuff that you'll find in such a larger city can actually be found in the local area here. You know, this area has a really sizable music scene, really great food scene as well. But if you want to go out and actually also engage in nature and engage with the local area, this is a really great area for that. One of the popular things for a lot of our students is actually to go out hiking. And we're actually right by the Hudson River, so it really is quite gorgeous in the local area as well. But we are a campus of about 2,500 students, which actually is a little bit larger than your typical large college. But you'll see that one of the big benefits about going to at least a college that is a little bit larger for us is that it does allow you to meet new people throughout your time here and kind of help create that sense of community that a lot of our students are looking when they are looking at different colleges. But by far, the thing that I believe that makes Vassar quite unique is the type of curriculum that we have to offer. So as a liberal arts college, our goal is that we want to be able to give you that breadth of education. We want to give you that skill set that can translate over to a variety of different things. But the way that we actually facilitate that within our curriculum is that we offer an open curriculum. What that simply means is that when you are applying to Vassar, you're not applying to the Vassar School of Engineering, you're not applying to the Vassar School of Education, you are just applying to Vassar. Every single class that we have to offer is completely available to you. And so you'll find that this really does offer a lot of opportunities for our students to go out and branch out and just really take a lot of different classes in whatever they want to take. You're not limited into certain requirements, though we do have a couple requirements. They're very minimal. Most students don't worry too much about them. For the most part, it's only 3 graduation requirements. The first one is a freshman writing seminar. Second is a quantitative course. And the third one is a language proficiency course. But you'll find that one of the big benefits with having this open curriculum is that it actually does make it quite easy for a lot of our students to actually end up double majoring here. So you'll see that about a quarter of our students end up double majoring, and about 60% of our students end up getting a minor here as a student. But you'll find that for the most part, a lot of our students really they become quite creative and quite passionate about the things that they do end up studying here as a student. However, the other thing I think that makes Vassar a little bit unique as well is that as a continuation of the open curriculum, we don't want our students to be limited to their education being stuck inside a classroom. We actually want our students to really experience get experience outside of the classroom and really experience what we call experiential learning. And so we offer different opportunities for our students to engage in these areas. For instance, one of the things I feel that's really interesting for us is that because of the location that we're at in Poughkeepsie, New York, because it's not a small town, you'll find that there are numerous opportunities for a lot of our students to actually engage in academically sponsored internships within the local area. So you'll find that with community-engaged learning or field work, you'll find that students are able to do a local internship, whether it be at a local hospital, a local politician's office, in social justice, and actually get academic credit for this. So these are very valuable experiences for our students to not only build up their resume, but to also actually learn what they've been learning inside the classroom from a real world perspective as well. You also see that for us, while we do offer a number of different classes, we may not offer every single class. And so what we do is that we actually encourage our students to actually go abroad. So typically students could go abroad as early as the first semester of your junior year, or as late as the first semester of your senior year. And the way that we describe study abroad in our perspective is that there are opportunities for you to supplement your education here. So for instance, if you want to go abroad and take a class that may not be offered here at Vassar, even though it's not in your major, you're more than encouraged to take that experience. And you actually are not limited to just taking these classes abroad. In fact, some of these the programs are actually available here domestically here as well. So for instance, while we may not offer an engineering major at Vassar, we do offer an engineering program in collaboration with Dartmouth. And we also have a recently announced master's in public health in collaboration with Columbia as well. And lastly, we also have different opportunities for our students to engage with different research opportunities here that allow you to do research as early as a freshman year. One of the benefits for us is that we are a purely undergraduate institution, so it is quite easy for a lot of our students to get involved with research during their time here as a student as well. You'll also see that one of the really interesting things about Vassar as well is that we are a fairly residential campus. For the most part, even with New York City being relatively close by, most students actually stay on campus throughout their 4 years here and on the weekends here. And you'll find that there are a variety of different opportunities for our students to engage in a lot of different organizations, depending on what you want to do, whether it be athletics, sports, theater, or one of the most interesting ones is actually the Barefoot Monkeys, which is an all-campus circus group that we have on campus. And once a year, they actually throw an all-campus fire show where they actually lighten up our residential quad, which is quite exciting and always one of the most fascinating things to see every year. But that does bring an end to today's presentation from myself. But thank you so much for having me here today. And if you do actually want to get in contact with one of our students, I would actually encourage you to reach out to this email down here below called Ask a Student at vassar.edu. And one of our students will actually be able to reach out to you as well. Well, thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Moving right along, we've got Princeton University up next. So Karen, whenever you're ready, take it away.
Great, thank you guys. I'm happy to be here. My name is Karen Blake and I'm an admissions officer at Princeton University. And I'm going to just take a little bit of time to share with you a little bit about Princeton. So the first thing I'll let you guys know is a bit about where we're located. So Princeton University is located in central New Jersey. We're located about midway between Philadelphia and New York City, so you do have access to those larger cities. What's nice is we actually do have our own train station on campus, so it's very easy to get to either of those cities, whether you're going into the city socially or for academic purposes. We are really known for our focus on undergraduate students, and as you can see in this slide, we have nearly double the amount of undergraduate students as we have graduate students. And you won't find any pre-professional grad schools at Princeton. So we don't have a medical school, a law school, or a business school. We actually think that makes us really great because that allows us to really spend the bread and butter of our time really focusing on those undergraduate students. We're considered a small to medium-sized research institution, but we really kind of consider ourselves to really have more of the heart and soul of the liberal arts college. So you'll definitely be pushed and stretched and growing while you're at Princeton. Another thing that kind of separates us when it comes to academics is that we do not actually allow students to have more than one major. So you'll just have one concentration, as we refer to it, at Princeton. And one of the main reasons for that is that we actually do require all of our students to write a senior thesis. So if you are interested in doing your own independent research, you'll definitely have that opportunity at Princeton because, as I said, it is required. The nice thing about it is that we do make sure that you are prepared to do so as you get through your time at Princeton. You're going to have a really close relationship with our faculty. We have a very small student to faculty ratio. It's just 5-to-1. It's the smallest student to faculty ratio in the entire Ivy League. And the majority of our classes are 20 students or fewer. So you're really able to get to know your faculty. And they will serve as your advisor once you do your senior thesis. We also have a residential college system at Princeton, which really allows us to have a small kind of tight-knit community for our students to live in. And we do guarantee your housing for all 4 years at Princeton. And the majority of our students, about 98% of them, are living on campus the entire 4 years that they are. We also have some really amazing identity-based centers on our campus that really are there to support and affirm students from a wide range of backgrounds. Diversity is something that is critically important to our university, but we really feel like inclusion is even more so. And we really want to make sure that students feel like they belong as soon as they step foot on our campus. And I think finally about kind of what sets us apart and what I think is one of my favorite things to talk about is that Princeton really does try to make our education as affordable as possible. So we have a very robust financial aid program. So just some things to kind of keep in mind when it comes to our financial aid program. The first is that we are a needed blind program for all of our students. So that includes domestic, international, DACA or undocumented students. So you're never at a disadvantage if you do need financial aid. We are an entirely need-based program. So that means we don't offer any sorts of scholarships. So no athletic scholarships or merit scholarships, anything like that. Instead, it's all just based on how much your family actually needs for you to attend Princeton. And we do guarantee to meet 100% of your family's demonstrated need. But that's not even the best part. The best part is actually that we do not package any loans in our financial aid. So because of that, about 83% of our students will actually graduate from Princeton entirely debt-free, which is really exciting to not have to worry about that burden when you're a graduating person and going off into the world in your first career. Here is a little bit about some of the resource centers that we have on campus. As I mentioned, diversity and inclusion is something that is really at the forefront of Princeton's mission. And we want to make sure that students are able to have opportunities to engage in diversity work, both at the educational and co-curricular experience. So these are just some of the support resources that we have on our campus. That first center that you see here, the Emma Bloomberg Center for Access and Opportunity, that is really the umbrella for a lot of our programs that are designed to really support students of all backgrounds, but particularly those who are coming from a first generation, low income or underrepresented background. And we are really able to provide them with mentorship opportunities, academic enrichment, and community, which really allows them to carve out a space at Princeton and really find success here. I should note that we have a very high graduation and retention rate. So, within 6 years, I believe 96% of our students have graduated. So it really just speaks to the ways in which we're able to support students. I do have a few admission related updates to give you all. I will first note, of course, that Princeton practices holistic admission. So that means we're taking a lot into consideration when we're reviewing application files. It's not just your grades and test scores. It's, of course, those teacher recommendation letters and the essays that you're writing. All of that kind of comes into our review process. And I just want you all to note that, of course, we're going to consider all of the difficulties that have happened with COVID-19 this year. So that will also be factored in as we're making our admission decisions. We will continue our pause on our standardized testing requirement. So we are not going to ask for standardized testing this year. So if you have not had the opportunity to sit for the SAT or the ACT, that's no worries. You can still apply to Princeton. Another thing that we're moving back towards is that we will also have the return of our single choice early action program. So if you are interested in applying to Princeton, we do have 2 application deadlines. The first is that single choice early action deadline, which is November 1st. There are a bit of strings attached when it comes to this program, meaning that you won't be able to apply to other schools that are private American colleges early, but you will be able to apply to your local state college early if you also choose to apply to Princeton early. And then the fourth thing I'll just note is that while we are doing virtual visits, we do not track demonstrated interest. So please don't feel bad if you're not able to engage with us as much as you'd like to. I'll quickly just put up our slide with our information for contacting us, and definitely feel free to reach out to us if you ever have any other questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And then last up tonight, we have Illinois State University. So whenever you're ready, Brandon, go for it.
All right. Thank you so much. Last but not least. So good evening, everyone. This is my 7th year with the Chicago Scholars, so I can't wait to see you all at on-site this October. But I want to tell you more about Illinois State University. I'm actually campus-based. I'm in my office right now here in Normal, so I can't wait for you guys to come down and see us. But first and foremost, where are we located? We're right in the middle of Illinois, about 2 hours south of Chicago and 2 hours north of St. Louis. We're kind of a mixture of urban and suburban and a rural or oasis here. We're in that sweet spot of not being too big, not being too small. We have about 21,000 students. We have about 19 Division I sports, access to over 700 employers on campus a year, and access to high-level research as well. The majority of our students are undergraduates. We do have a thriving graduate program as well. We have more females to males on our campus, and 3 in 10 of our students identify for being from underrepresented backgrounds. Diversity and inclusion is a core value of Illinois State, and we strive, especially in my office, to continue to increase diversity on our campus to more reflect what America looks like. And when it comes to that inclusion piece, oh, that is out of order. Oh, I can't believe that happened. Well, I'll get to that in a second then. So I'll talk to you about, go back, our academic programs. So we have over 150 majors for you to choose from. Some of the most popular majors are those in our College of Business, College of Education, School of Nursing, and it can be overwhelming sometimes choosing a major. So we have a great academics page here where you can, we kind of cluster everything here for you. And you, let's say you're thinking about technology, and you can see every major that we offer in that area, course curriculum, careers you can have to kind of get an idea and feel for it as well. When it comes to the academic environment here, big school opportunity, small school feel. So the average classroom size here is 31 students. You're gonna know your professors, they're gonna know you, and most of them are actually teaching you as well. We truly are a teaching college. Our professors want classroom time with you. When it comes to the community itself, this is Uptown Normal, which is right next to campus. We actually have the train station right here, that clock tower there. So you can take the train up to Chicago or down to St. Louis. That's within walking distance for you. So that's nice and convenient. But in Uptown, we have everything from restaurants, boutiques, coffee shops, movie theaters. It's a great place to hang out at as well. When it comes to support for your future, career services is going to be a key department for you to get to know. You all will be assigned a career advisor based off of your professional interest or major. Get to know them as a freshman. You also have internship coordinators in your departments as well, so you can work with them on identifying internship opportunities as well. If you're undecided, that is okay. We do offer a career exploration class that you can take to kind of help you figure things out. And the majority of the students take that class, pick something afterwards. And then when it comes to affordability, we lock tuition in for you for all 4 years, so you can budget accordingly, knowing there won't be any big surprises for you freshman or senior year as well. And when it comes to tuition, this is kind of the breakdown for us for the year. This is for the entire academic year with your housing and meals as well. So you can kind of take a little picture of that to kind of know what our cost is. And then when it comes to paying for it, we have several merit-based scholarships that range in value from $1,000 to $11,000 per year, renewable for all 4 of those years. So making the grade will be super, super important when it comes to paying for school. So at minimum, if you have at least a 3.0 cumulative GPA, you are for sure going to receive a merit scholarship from our office, okay? And that we will take weighted or unweighted GPA. And we are also test optional for admission and for scholarship. So the big thing we're going to be looking at is that cumulative GPA. When it comes to the application period, we are going to be joining the Common App next month. So the first day you can apply is August 1st. So you can apply through Common App or through our portal site that you see up here. Normally it's a $50 application fee, but we typically waive the application fee for our Chicago students. So that shouldn't be an issue for you, but the best time to apply is between August 1st and actually November 1st now. I need to update that as well. That's the best time to apply for best consideration for scholarships and for the seats available in your major. So if you're looking for nursing or direct admit nursing, you need to apply by November 1st. That's going to be the first to fill up. And then when it comes to what we're looking for in a student, we don't have a minimum amount. What we typically share with you is a middle 50%. So we admit above and below this. So if you're in this, be confident that you're in a good position for admission. If you're below it, definitely consider doing that personal statement that's usually optional, but I think you should do it so we can know more about you, can evaluate you more holistically in that regard. When it comes to visiting, we do have virtual visit options, but we also have campus visit options. So you can go to our visit page and schedule a daily campus visit and interact with myself or one of my colleagues, and also get a tour of campus led by our awesome student tour guides as well. So we definitely hope to see you physically on campus. And then if you want to stay connected, definitely reach out to me. Like I said, I've been helping out with Chicago Scholars for several years now, and definitely consider me a resource for you throughout this process. I'm not really sure what happened to my slides here, but I did want to highlight real quickly our diversity-based organizations that we offer as well on campus. So we have about 35 plus diverse-based organizations on our campus, and these are the big four. So we have Pride, for LGBTQ plus students, the Asia Pacific American Coalition, Black Student Union, and the Association of Latin American Students. We're really excited. I think next month, we're going to be opening up a brand new multicultural center with expanded facilities. So we're going to have a media room, more office and event spaces for our student organizations, a diversity library, and a gender neutral closet as well. So as I said, stay connected with me. I'll drop my information in the chat box as well. I hope to see you on campus soon. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brandon. And thank you to all of our facilitators tonight. I want to go ahead and thank you all for joining us, of course. And then I also want to let you know that after you close this window, a short quick question survey will appear. Please fill that out. The feedback is very important. Feel free to go onto strivescan.com and sign up for more sessions. But this recording will be available at strivescan.com/Chicago Scholars in about a week. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you to our facilitators and our presenters, and we will see you all next time. Thank you.